Okay. If you're going to watch this video, whether you're on the left side, the right side, Democrat, Republican, pro-life, or pro-choice, basically I'm going to explain why no matter who you claim to be, you're wrong. And this video is going to tell you exactly why, and tell you exactly why every other opposing side to your view is also wrong. So like and subscribe, and don't just open up these, open up this a little bit. Just think about what I'm saying. Okay. So this whole new thing to do, basically, what to make yourself feel important and make yourself feel like you're doing something for other people or yourself or the country or something like that, and be an activist and all these things when they magically just appear around election time. The leaked documents for the ROE V Wade BS through the Supreme Court, they weren't leaked because someone's concerned about anything. Just remember that. They were never leaked for that purpose whatsoever, or for that intent. They were leaked purely for political leverage, to make one opposing side look evil, bad, so that they can divide once again the people stronger, more right before election time, and just hope that more people of their side show up to vote. And that's what they do every election. They divide because they don't want anyone in the gray area. You know, that's just too scary for either side, either Republican or Democrat. We don't want anyone in the gray area. No, because we don't know what they'll do. Oh, we could lose our election. Oh my God, lose our jobs. That's their biggest fear, is people in the gray area. People who could vote either Republican or Democrat. You know, people who are smart, people who actually think, people who are actually vote upon actual facts and not just, I'm Republican, I'm Democrat. You know, people like me. People that have common sense. Democrats and Republicans, they hate us. Because why we think for ourselves and we actually can, you know, vote for either party or none, or for just someone who we think is right, you know. No, they don't like that. They need the division. So they always stir up some way to divide. Like this leaked document, it's another way for them to divide. Because there's, no gray people. But if we stir up a bunch of stuff and people get angry at each other, it'll cause a division. And most people that will go gray will go either blue or red. So we better make it for our side. That's what this is about. It's not about anything Roe v. versus Wade. I just hope people know that. Yeah, the document exists, whatever, and it is going through the Supreme Court, whatever. I'm going to explain all that, okay? But what you need to remember is the reason it was leaked and the purpose it was leaked. It had nothing to do with Roe v. Wade. It had nothing to do with pro-life and pro-choice. It had nothing to do with any of that. It was purely for political leverage and to divide, to get rid of the gray and push the gray people to their side. Okay, that's it. That's it. They could give a shit what was in that document, except for the fact it would stir up shit, divide, and be on for their favor. Okay, so remember that purpose. Just keep that in the back of your head, okay? So just that alone, me knowing this, I'm not going to get so upset even which way I believe about this, because I know the purpose of that leak was for something completely separate and different than what this actually is. Okay, but regardless, even if you don't care the purpose and you care about the document or whatever, if you claim yourself to be pro-choice or life, I'm gonna go ahead and bet, I could probably bet the house that you honestly don't even know what's in Roe v. Wade, except whether it's getting rid of abortion or not. And I bet you don't even know what would actually even happen if Roe v. Wade was overturned. And if either of those are even remotely true, that you don't know what either of those actually contain and what they are about and everything, then you need to seriously consider taking a step back and thinking, okay, but I jumped into this thinking I was this, but I don't even know what this is about. So, how are you influenced so easily? How are you baited? Okay, because if you made your decision whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, or decided to be an activist towards one of them, with one of them, or an opposition towards one of them, or say anything about either of them, really, without knowing, shame on you, okay, for one. For another, that's not how you should be making your decisions. And that's how most decisions are made in today's political world. Okay? They just create an entity and paint it a picture however the heck they want and amplify it without proving any facts or anything actually true behind it. They just kind of put a little, pretty headline on it, attract you, and then, oh, you're for that, you're this, your label is this, you're that, you're part of them, without knowing what they're actually for, what the facts are, or what anything else is. That's not how you need to be making decisions, and that's not how anyone should be making decisions, especially towards political leaders, and elections, and votes, and anything of the sort. You need to know the facts before you decide, okay? So if you already decided whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, or this side or that side, without knowing any of these facts, shame on you. And we need to start thinking the opposite way. You need to get the facts. Get the facts first. Get all the facts. Not just one headline. Not just one little stupid snippet. Or not one jackass saying, we're this, we go this. Don't just, I'm with them. Or yeah, I'm going to be with that. Yeah, I'm for that. Get the facts. Do your own research. Okay, unfortunately, we are so politically and socially lazy that it's ridiculous. We like to just, I'm with them, and I'm just gonna do whatever they do. I'm just gonna be with them, whatever they are. Yep, easy. I'm a Democrat. I'm just gonna vote Democrat, and some are always for the Democrat, and always against Republican, and vice versa. And politically lazy. Instead of, you know what? I'm gonna see what this is about. Search Google, search this, search that. Let's go to Wiki. Let's go to all these other websites. Let's go to some government websites, see what they say. Let's go to a foreign website, see what they say. Let's go to no one wants to. People just want to read a headline. Oh yeah, I'm doing something. No, shut up, please. Come on. Okay. I always do my research, no matter what. Sometimes it takes me a little longer than others, and sometimes I'll even click the things that I haven't even done the research for, that I haven't made a side for either, but I haven't done research for. So then I better do this research. And that's usually what triggers a lot of my videos. Is when I go further in depth of research than I have previously, and I learn new things. And that's why I love the whole Elon Musk buying Twitter thing, because I'm totally for unscripted, unedited, unbiased controlled platform that anyone can post whatever they want, as long as it's their own opinion and or about themselves. I don't agree with anyone posting someone else's address or anything like that, because I believe that crosses the line. That's not free speech. That's aggression. I mean, plain and simple. If you post someone else's address, that to me is a actual threat. Whether you go yourselves or someone else goes, you post someone else's address, say anything negative, sorry, but that's a threat. If you know their address, keep it to your damn selves. You go out in front of their building or whatever and protest, but don't share their address, because if someone shared your address, you'd be furious. You'd be livid. You'd be so pissed off and so scared for your family. You'd blow your top. You'd be outrageously pissed off, and you wouldn't be quiet about it, would you? Okay, so don't do it. Okay, but having an open platform where anyone can post anything of their own opinion is important. Because that's how smart people, anyway. That's how smart people, not robots, not political peons. That's how smart people make informed decisions, by hearing other people's opinions, whether they're outrageous, wrong, extreme, or not, or whether they're backed by science or information or proof or BS. It never hurts to hear another one's opinion, because you can always take something from anyone's opinion, no matter whether it's extreme, complete BS, or whatever. You can always take something from it, even if that only something is, okay, this guy seems a little cuckoo. I took it from that. I took that from that. Or, you know what? Maybe this guy has a different point of view. Maybe he's kind of right. Because you'd be surprised. Instead of hearing the extreme or the politicized narratives on both sides, instead of hearing those, you'd be amazed what type of views people have about the same subject or about the same exact situation that are completely different than both sides. And it's all about context. It's all about how you can see things. And some people will be able to see things that no one else can out of a situation. So hearing those views can help you if you're willing to listen. But that's the thing, most people aren't willing to listen. They're just willing to shut the other side up. So back to Roe v. Wade. Did you know that if Roe v. Wade were to be overturned, do you know what happened? Yeah, they banned abortion. No, sorry, wrong. The picketers lied to you. The people with signs that didn't do the research lied to you. The only thing that would happen if Roe v. Wade was overturned is it would be kicked back to the states. The states would be able to decide whatever the case is pertaining to abortion, which I am all for. Honestly, I hope Roe v. Wade is overturned only for one reason. I hope it's overturned for the fact that it gets kicked back to the states and the states make whatever laws they choose. Because I don't like the federal government having the final say pretty much with anything. I don't like the federal government having too much control over anything. I would much rather the states, because do you know why? It's not because I'm anti-government, I'm not paranoid. No. It's because getting a hold of or having your voice heard by your local government, by your senators, by your governor and mayors, having your personal voice heard to them is so much easier than anyone at the federal level. You think anyone at the federal level is ever going to hear anything most of us ever say? No. I mean, the chance of any of them hearing anything is slim to none, because there's just too many people in America. But if you break it down to the state level, you can hear your voice heard, and it's easier to get the right people elected that you think should be. It's easier to find out who the heck they are. So that's why I think everything, not just Roe v. Wade, everything should be kicked back to the state level, for the most part, you know. And people say, well, there's a lot of states that would ban abortion. No. Here's the next misconception of pro-choice and pro-life. Pro-choicers choose to paint pro-lifers as anti-abortionists, people that hate women, people that want to take away your rights. No, people, no. Sorry, pro-choicers, but no, it's not true. Pro-lifers purely care about a baby, whether it's in a fetus or out. They care about a baby. They don't want you to kill a baby. And that's honestly the core. These extreme okay, and let's go to the other side. Okay, you pro-lifers. A lot of you think that pro-choicers are purely pro-abortion, just want to have the right to have an abortion whenever the heck they please, just because they don't want you to tell them to not. That they want to have the right to abortion no matter what. No, that's not true. Okay? These extremes that they've created are extremes for a reason, to divide everybody. Okay? The reality is, the honest to God reality, if you pull anyone from either side and sit down with them personally and just have an actual intellectual, calm conversation, you will find that most pro-lifers and pro-choicers literally have the exact points of views and the exact values and want the exact same thing. Literally. I'm not even kidding. Most pro-lifers, most pro-choicers literally want the exact same thing and thinks the exact same things should be banned. And you know what those are? Okay, anyone who has common sense would do their research and find out, okay, well, let's see what science has found out. Okay, and this is why Roe v. Wade is being talked about now in the courts. Because when Roe v. Wade was decided, there wasn't the technology then that there is now. Okay, and they have found now, with technology and a lot of research and a lot of studies and a lot of hours of science, okay, and a lot of research done, a lot, with new technology that wasn't available then. And, especially with ultrasound being available now, it wasn't even available during Roe v. Wade, ultrasound. So, I mean, that's huge, okay? And that's why Roe v. Wade's being talked about being overturned or whatever, is because they know more or less now when a baby is actually a baby, when a baby is actually alive, when an abortion would actually be murder, okay? And that's the whole thing. Most pro-lifers and pro-choicers would agree. I guarantee you, most would agree that abortions are abortions and can be abortions. That can be just an alternative for birth control, basically. And most pro-lifers, pro-choicers would agree that birth control is important for many reasons. It should not be forced on anyone, but the availability for it should be accepted, and most people would agree. But most would agree that at some point, an abortion would and should be considered murder. Just because it's still in your belly doesn't mean that you shouldn't. I mean, it doesn't mean you should kill it. And that's what most pro-lifers think, and most pro-choicers think. They agree that yes, there should be a limitation on it. There should be a cutoff point where abortion becomes murder. Most would agree. I'm not. And if you think that's anything against rights, or if you think that's anything against life, you're crazy, because look at the extremes. I mean, having an abortion 2 days after you have sex, how would that be murder? Okay, and you look at 2 days before you're supposed to give birth, how can that be just an abortion, not murder? Okay, so if both of those are true, which they are, there's got to be a cutoff point somewhere in between, and that's what I believe should happen, and I believe that's where most pro-lifers and pro-choicers stand, because it's the only thing that makes sense. It follows the science, like everyone says it's supposed to do. So follow the science. You know, we need to find out. We need to find out when a baby becomes alive in the womb, so that we don't kill any babies. Because I mean, anyone kills a baby, everyone's outraged. So we should find out when a baby becomes a baby to prevent that. And prevent just that. You know, not anything extreme to the other side. That way you have the right to have an emergency contraception option up to a certain point. But you do not have the right to murder. You know, I mean, that's common sense. But this extreme narrative that one side is this, one side is this, and they're wrong. Most people do not believe in any of that. Most people are in the middle where I sit. That you know, put 2 and 2 together. Do a little research. And find out that, you know, 10 weeks after contraception, after, you know, you become pregnant, a baby's brain is growing, but it's only that. Okay. Or you can see that at 14 weeks, a preborn baby has developed enough coordination to suck its thumb. Okay, I think right there should be, if it can suck its own thumb, it's alive. I mean, I would agree. I think anyone would agree. If you saw a baby sucking its thumb, would you allow it to be killed? Okay, well, just picture that in the womb. So I think that should be, pretty much the cutoff point. You know, right before that, you know, I'm sure they could do more extensive research to find out exactly when, and then make the cutoff point for abortions right before that, so that no one's killing actual babies, so that everyone's just having emergency contraception. Because if a baby could suck its thumb, I don't see how anyone can honestly say that abortion should be okay, because that's just granting murder. So just do your research. And do your research about Roe v. Wade, what would actually happen. And do your research where it came from, and why it came from, and why it's being leaked. And do it, and use a little common sense and think, why do all these extreme views and these extremely emotional things right before election season? I wonder. Because guess what? There's not as many racist people out there as they may claim. And there's not as many pro-life and pro-choice. There are not as many people that are extreme. Most people are in the middle, thinking exactly like yourself. But they paint the other people on the other side to look demonized. But even though they're almost exactly, have the exact same thought and mindset as you. And feel the exact same way. But you see them and view them as evil. So just remember who's behind this, guys. It's just the politicians. Just wait for them to keep their jobs. Because if people started actually thinking for themselves and you know, forming their own opinions, most of these wouldn't have a job, to be honest with you. But I digress. So, ladies and gentlemen, I love you guys. Don't get so upset. Don't go out there and picket without knowing what you're doing and what you stand for, and don't help the division of these political jackasses. Okay? Just remember that the other side most likely feels the exact same way as you do. That's my video.